Good morning from Ireland, and thank you, Hannah, for your great initiative and organisation of TREVenue Tuesdays and inviting Net Affinity to participate. My name is Niall Lenihan and I am the Business Development Manager for Key Partnerships for Net Affinity. I wanted to start by giving you a small insight into my background and experience within the hospitality and hotel tech industry. Prior to starting with Net Affinity nearly 5 years ago, I worked in hotels specialising in revenue management and business development for several independent and global brands, including the Doyle Collection, the Dorchester Collection, IHG and Marriott. I then moved to the dark side, as they say in the industry, spending some time with Orbitz Worldwide up to their acquisition by Expedia in 2014, before also spending some time with AvailPro, now known as The Edge. Why I want to give you my background experience is because I want to give you, I suppose, the understanding that I very much understand where you're coming from your direct on-property hotel perspective. So a little bit about Net Affinity. Net Affinity are a hotel technology company headquartered in Dublin, Ireland. However, like a lot of companies, have moved our office remote since March of this year. Our core value proposition is about driving direct business. We've been doing this for over 20 years and have a significant expertise and experience within the company, of which the majority of our team are coming from a direct on-property hotel background. Our core technology is the booking engine. However, we also provide several other solutions, including our website builder, gift voucher solution, and digital marketing services. We've won several awards over the years for our design work and booking engine, and most recently with the Hotel Tech Awards, where we won the Best Booking Engine for 2019. So my presentation today is about the essential ingredients to deliver a successful and sustainable direct sales or direct book strategy for your hotel. We certainly hold the view that every single hotel, without any exception, regardless of size, location, brand or otherwise, has significant potential to increase direct sales. What I plan to cover over the next 15 minutes or so, some parts of it might seem a little simplistic, while others might be a bit too much detail. Regardless of where you sit right now on the spectrum of driving direct business through your website, you will pick up at least one point of note from today's presentation. The timing of today's forum is great in the fact that those of you who are attending have the opportunity to reflect, take stock and evaluate how your business is performing today in this ever-changing climate due to COVID-19. To embark on or to sustain a direct booking strategy, you have to be very clear on what you're trying to achieve and why. Why do you want to grow your direct business, and what does this look like in practice? Do you have a clear understanding as to which channels you will lose out and to shift to grow direct? And do you have the buy-in of all levels within the hotel? So all the key stakeholders, the owner, the general manager, the director of sales and marketing, and the revenue manager. Are they clear as to what occupancy, RevPAR and net RevPAR you wish to achieve with your focus? It is important also we don't get dragged into the direct versus OTA debate. I think what we've all accepted is that the OTAs are part of the distribution landscape that we live in. And it's important that we manage our inventory and pricing more so. OTAs and direct bookings are the two most important booking sources. Both work in tandem, and it's important to find the right balance, taking into consideration including your occupancy, geographic location, and your customer buying behavior, and most importantly, what the profitability of each channel is. So if we look at COVID trends and we're looking at what's changed up until February and March this year, corporate guests were the base business for many hotels. It gave the hotels the opportunity to yield their rates from such a consistent and regular business. COVID-19 has changed this, with now a larger focus on leisure business, or a growing popular term which everyone is using daily, staycation. Properties have overtaken city destinations. In some cases, hotels in their short term must adapt their business models from being a potential corporate focused hotel to potentially becoming a family focused hotel. International travel is changing constantly as hotels adapt and change their green lists weekly and monthly, meaning hotels must also look closer to home for business. Reduced occupancies and business levels also impact the hotel spend and in turn impact the online marketing spend and budgets of a hotel. Although in some cases it becomes necessary to turn off all campaigns, you should try and maintain a simple and cost-effective online presence such as social, brand campaigns and Meta. It's important to keep your property visible and online. As I mentioned previously, with your type of guests has changed potentially, and with this it may require you to adapt your packages that you sold previously. Do a package deep dive of what has been successful for you in the past domestically and bring them back into your mix. What we've seen to be extremely successful with our hotels is partnering with local businesses and enhancing the value of your packages that you are selling. This also gives you the opportunity to support your local businesses. Guests now so more than ever require additional flexibility, giving them the incentive to opportunity to amend or rebook rather than cancel. A growing trend that we've seen over the past 4 weeks specifically is direct bookers on hotel websites are booking multiple dates in advance, multiple dates for this potential same stay opportunity. So in the past, what we've seen is maybe a guest would book a specific weekend, where now they're potentially booking 5 weekends for one potential stay. So what we're trying to encourage is to allow additional flexibility, potentially incentivize that guest to come back rather than cancel. What hotels have been doing to achieve this is providing a discount code for a future reservation for that. An additional trend that we've seen change due to COVID-19 is lead times. So the average lead times of bookings have decreased by 25%, which is becoming a large challenge for hotels as it becomes more difficult for hotels to budget on what potential stay business is within the month for the month. So the first element we're going to look at is trying to sell the experience over the transaction to the customer. Every business needs a USP, something that makes them stand out in a competitive and sometimes saturated market. This is ever so true for hotels and highlights the need to showcase what makes your property unique. This could be the location, the heritage, the environmental, and sometimes very simple, something like the pillows, the breakfast, or family friendly. It's important that your USP is based on your value rather than your price. The reason for this is that if you're selling your hotel based on something that is far removed from price sensitivity, it's easier for you to hold your rate in the off season or in the downturn, rather than if you sell in price, then you get drawn into a race to the bottom. With full knowledge of changes in demand, your hotel can focus on offering superior value to your customers. For this, it's important to always keep track of your competitors. A great way to do this is benchmarking, as this allows you to analyze your competitors versus the competition and look at your different comp sets, whether it be location, type of property or style of property. Write down your USP and always focus on it. Know your market and your guests. As I mentioned previously, the market is changing constantly and your guest demographic will also change. So deep dive to who your current guests are. Try and take as much information as you can from the booking guest details, but also from the details of your guests as they're checking into your hotel. A website that supports your brand message. So what we're speaking about here is whatever your brand message is of why your guests should stay at your hotel versus the competition, make sure your brand message is clear online. Your brand message should then follow you throughout the guest journey. So as they're researching your property, as you're marketing to your guests, again, as they land on your website, and again, as they complete your booking process. So what is your pricing and distribution strategy? So what is your main focus at the moment? It's, as we understand, for all hotels globally, the occupancy levels have deteriorated drastically. So is your focus trying to maintain a minimal occupancy level or try and maintain your rate? So it's really important to look at your pricing and distribution strategy, something I'll speak about a little bit more detail shortly. So now that you've got the guests to your website, into your website, you've got them through your sales funnel, it's really important that the guest converts on your website. So there's no point doing all of the hard work as if the guest gets to your website and doesn't complete their booking. So a really good initiative that we encourage to all of our hotels is to go through the funnel themselves as if they were a guest on their website. So how easy is it for the guest to navigate through your website, to find your booking engine, to make a date search and to complete their booking? Is it as seamless as it sounds? So what we would always encourage our hotels do is to try and do a test booking for your hotel. Do it on your desktop, but most importantly, also do it on your mobile. At the moment, we're seeing almost 60% of transactions now taking place on mobile devices. So it's becoming a more and more important platform for hotels. So obviously one of the key elements then for driving your direct business and a sustainable booking strategy is your marketing. So what are your marketing campaigns that you're running and what platforms are you using specifically? Some of those I'll speak about in further detail also shortly, but one key element I want to focus on at the moment is email marketing. For any hotels who are using a potential CRM solution or also capturing their guest data as they're booking and staying in your hotel under the GDPR requirements, you have all the data you need. So from an email perspective, you should be able to gather who your local business is, what guests have stayed with you in a similar time of the year. So for example, go into your PMS system, look at what guests have stayed in the hotel from October to December last year. Obviously filter down any of your potential international guests who cannot travel at the moment, and you're shortening down your market to who you can target specifically. So you have a real opportunity with your email and marketing to target guests and to retarget them again to stay in your hotel. Additional element then is reputation management. So what is the reputation management of your hotel online? What is the guest perspective of your hotel? What kind of feedback are your guests giving you? A lot of this has been driven within online reviews. So whether those be on TripAdvisor, Google Business Reviews, My Reviews, feedback you may be receiving yourself, potentially in a post-stay email, it's important that you manage your online reputation. So whether you need to engage with your guests from a positive review or a good review or a bad review, it's really important that you engage with them. And finally, one of the key elements is to track all activity. So you should be using obviously your Google Analytics through your website, through your booking engine to track all of the engagement that your guests are seeing. Look at the potential leads that you're generating through your website, whether they be inquiry forms, whether they be brochure downloads for your dining or for your restaurant. It's important to look at what your attribution is with regards to the engagement through all of the traffic on your website. So impress your guests every time. So what we're looking at here is what are kind of revenue management tips that you can use at the moment. As we were speaking previously, it's an ever-changing marketplace at the moment. So it may require you to develop new monthly and daily pickup reports. So just to adapt your strategy to what's working and what's not working. Potentially dive deeper into seasonality opportunities. So again, potentially planning tactically in the short term of what the seasonality may be specifically for you and your property and what opportunities are available. Try and influence your guest stay patterns. So here we're speaking about potentially guests are booking Saturday nights only. So what can we do to encourage them to book Friday nights and Sunday nights to try and prolong their length of stay? It might be just incentivizing a differential price or flexibility on that Friday or Sunday. What we've seen work successfully for other hotels currently is some hotels incentivizing that Friday or Sunday stay is offering a complimentary dinner on that evening. Again, gaining essential feedback from your guests on online reviews. These online reviews can allow you to improve your source of your bookings. They can allow you to improve your online feedback of what you're doing for your guests, and also allow future guests also to see what your interaction is with other guests online. Implement your room type segmentation. So a really key element here, when I mentioned previously about business hotels to family focused hotels, is look at what your room type segmentation is. So look at maybe your double rooms. Can you allow an extra bed or a cot, something you may not have done previously because you were a business hotel. However, look at your segmentation of your rooms through your website. Additionally, what has worked also for hotels is potentially reverse ordering their room segmentation on their website. So rather than starting specifically with your lowest category, you actually start with your highest category visible online. This may encourage your guests to book a superior room category rather than a starting room category. Additionally, trying to drive incremental revenue through upselling. So using room upgrades. So maybe that tool is available in your booking engine, or maybe you're using another tool to do this for you in your process. Look at that incremental revenue that could be available to you. So obviously from a room perspective, and then also looking at from an in-house perspective with regards to dining. So potentially, are you upselling to your guest who's booking a room-only package the opportunity to add breakfast to their stay, or potentially somebody who's booking a bed and breakfast package, are you giving an opportunity potentially to arrive earlier or maybe add dinner to their stay also? There's significant incremental revenue available, and what we've seen significantly during COVID-19 is there has been more upsells during the guest process. And what's actually really interesting when it comes to incremental revenue is 70% of incremental revenue for adding breakfast to their stay comes from room only packages. So although you have a bed and breakfast package there on your website, people are still more inclined from a price perspective to book room only and add breakfast to their stay. So now that we've looked at your booking strategy specifically in revenue tips, I want to look at the marketing element. So a key component to the marketing of your property is creating a buyer persona to you that you can tailor to your marketing efforts. So in doing this, we've created a 10-point checklist for your next marketing campaign, or even something you can use in your current campaigns that you're running. Before you can get started on planning your strategies to increase your hotel sales, you need to know where your property currently stands in terms of revenue and marketing efforts. Knowing the fixed cost of an empty room is important, as you can calculate the things like how to set your prices, your dates for promotions, your group offers, and whether to invest time and effort onto certain OTA channels. So what we've done here is we've created a 10-step point line for you to work through. So number one, before anything else, take a breather and ask yourself, what is my motivation for the digital marketing campaign? Although you might have a rough idea of what your campaign goal is, outlining it in writing for yourself and your team is helpful. It will provide you with a clarity and also helping you later when you're reporting on your campaign performance to show whether you've reached it or not. Once you've set your goals, it's time to decide on the concept of your campaign. To do this, you need to decide a number of key factors which will make up your campaign. For example, what offers and price points you're going to promote. When it comes to discounts, try offering an add-on instead of a percentage discount, as research shows that people prefer getting something extra, as it can actually be easier and quicker for them to understand rather than discounting a price. So for example, think buy one, get one free instead of 50% off. The kind of data found within your user demographics allows you to segment in Google Analytics. And with this, you can define your demographic of customers who are already engaging with your website. You can also take a look at your booking engine data and your guest personas. How old are they? Where do they come from? And why are they staying with you? Depending on your offer, you can also assist in targeting your audience. The timing of your campaign can make all the difference. For instance, if your target audience are price-conscious demographic, it may be clever to wait until the end of the calendar month to coincide with pay date. You also may need to be realistic that your campaign timeframe is also realistic. If you launch a last-minute campaign for dates in the very near future, this is less likely to scale volume, as your audience has less notice and will appeal to a much smaller group of people. So now you've decided on what you want to sell and who you want to sell it to and when you want to sell it. Next, you need to decide on how you're going to sell it. So you want your customers to pick you and why they should pick you, which brings us back to our initial point that we mentioned, which was your USP needs to be translated into the experience you're drawing your audience in. The likes of enjoying your stay, magical views, etc., making your USPs clear and visible on your website and on your booking engine, which are then also again reflected back into your marketing campaign. It's important that they can be read and understood within 10 to 20 seconds, and it allows the buyer to understand the process. Agreeing on your marketing budget is a fundamental aspect of your campaign once it's set up. Once your budget has been confirmed, you can identify the potential platforms where this budget can be spent. For example, if you set yourself a target of 20,000 to achieve, for example, in potential voucher sales, you need to be willing to invest at least between 5 and 10% of that into the revenue generation of the campaign. Using your allocated budget and keeping in mind both your target audience and offer, you need to decide which platforms you're going to use to promote your campaign. So for example, are you going to promote on Facebook, on Google, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube with bumper ads? So once you've nailed that down, it's how you're going to allocate your budget accordingly. So the next element is the visuals. So how can you make your campaign look as appealing as possible? You need to customize your message per platform based on the dimensions of what the campaign is specifically. Use a hero shot of your hotel, maybe something that people will identify with specifically that's famous or well-renowned about your property. Maybe it's their exterior, maybe it's the reception, maybe it's your spa, but use your hero shot as the forefront to your campaign. The next thing is launch your campaign. The most important element of launching your campaign is to test everything again. So again, bringing yourself back through the buyer, let them go through the experience. Do you understand your message? Are your ads working? Are you clicking through? Are your rates and availability loaded? Is everything clear and precise to the customer? As we said, we have that 10 to 20 second range for that customer to complete their booking process. So it's really, really nice to try and get them through the flow and funnel as easily as possible. The final element then with the marketing obviously is the reporting. So how have your campaign performed? What could you have done to improve? Are you measuring your success? So are you using your Google Analytics to look at how your platform? The benefits of using the likes of Facebook, Instagram, and Google is the fact that you've got the live reporting. So you should be checking your campaigns daily and weekly, depending on how long they're live. So the next element, which is kind of shaking up the hotel industry and has been doing so for the past 10 years, is meta search. And the most important element to know is meta search is here to stay. Over the past 10 years, the hotel industry has been the growth and change in meta search landscape. There's been an evident combination of both customer and product growth. It's evident that the rapid growth has disturbed the natural booking patterns we were once used to and has opened up another level of complexity for the OTAs. The years to come are set to be exciting as meta search and the product offering the Google hotel price ads to the forefront of the queue. TREVenue, TripAdvisor and Google Hotel Ads are currently the most powerful players on meta search landscape. So what is meta search? So meta search are the platforms by providing the customer with the most recent prices and availability for a given room and ensuring that they have the live data and accurate results for the customer. So the two key obstacles for hotels are live rate and availability feed and rate parity. Live rate and availability feed showing that the hotel is available on specific dates. So where you're getting that live rate and availability feed may be directly through your booking engine if you have that connectivity, or there are also third-party sources available for connectivity to platforms such as Google Hotel Price Ads, TripAdvisor, or TREVenue. And secondly, another key obstacle is rate parity. So are you offering the best rate direct through your own website and booking engine? Because rate parity will definitely impact your performance on the platform. You may gain a lot of impressions, but it will fluctuate you significantly and your performance on the platform itself. The consumer is more likely to click on your campaign and your ad specifically if you are offering the best rate on the Meta platform itself. Meta search is also becoming a growing opportunity to increase your direct bookings. So at the moment, on average, about between 15 and 20% of bookings are now becoming through Meta channels. So as an example, if you're not live on Meta search yourself directly currently, there is a high percentage of your potential OTA bookings are coming through meta search. So if for you to understand what meta search is specifically, a simple tip would be if you Google your hotel directly, you look at the business profile of your hotel on your right hand side. Just below your business profile, you will see the rates and availability of your hotel, potentially pulling from OTAs. Another incentive is the map proximity of your hotel. So if you are live directly on Google hotel price ads, you will appear directly on Google Maps with a price of your property. So this can give you an opportunity also to pull, I suppose, competition and bookings from other competitor hotels when a guest might be looking at a specific location within a country or within a city. It also helps level the playing field with OTAs. So for example, obviously the OTAs, if you're performing quite well for them, will activate you on the meta search platform themselves. So if you activate yourself on this platform, it will allow you to compete directly against the OTAs. It also allows you to deep dive into your guests and the booking process. So potentially if a guest may not necessarily complete their booking when they click on your meta search profile, you will actually be able to remarket to them if you've got other secondary marketing campaigns ongoing at the moment. And one of the final most important elements to do with meta search is the cost per acquisition model, because there is some mixed messages out there to what the cost of meta search is specifically. So I just wanted to try and simplify it for everyone specifically. So the typical model for meta search is cost per acquisition. So that involves two layers. So for example, you will pay the cost per click when the customer clicks on your profile on meta search. And then what you will also do is you will pay a percentage to that volume of that booking. So hypothetically, if I clicked on your ad as an example and the cost per click is 50 cents, and I say I want to pay 2.5% commission on the booking, the cost of that booking will be 50 cents per click and €2.50 for 100 euros booking. But what's really exciting about the meta search platform is that you have the ability to adjust your strategy, and the fact that you can increase your booking percentage and volume commission that you'll pay based on the length of stay of the customer in your hotel, and additionally where that customer is traveling from. So for example, if you have a guest who's potentially searching to stay in your hotel for a 2-week period, you could potentially pay a higher percentage to try and secure that booking rather than it coming through an OTA channel. So it's a really, really important channel, and definitely one for hotels who are looking at trying and grow their direct bookings currently. Typically, what we would do is we would recommend hotels to trial the platform for up to 90 days and invest a minimum budget of approximately €300 per month. But this would allow you to gauge what your future budget would be and what your performance of your hotel on that platform would be. So I suppose what I want to run through now is what we can do to try and assist you here currently during COVID-19. So we've spoken about the booking strategy, we've spoken about the COVID trends, we've spoken about the marketing and the 10 steps you can do to apply to each marketing campaign. And we've also spoken about the importance of meta search. So what we've tried to do to try and assist hotels who are obviously challenged during COVID-19 is we've created our own 90-day digital transformation package, which gives hotels the opportunity to explore or try something new, which can make a big difference in the long term. So what we're offering from our side currently, available to all hotels, is we're offering our booking engine, our website product, our hotel gift voucher product. We're offering heat map analysis, website and booking engine exit intent poll, free onboarding and support, and website and SEO audit to properties at no cost for the first 90 days. So we're giving you that incentive that we feel we can make a difference to your business currently with this offer we've created. In addition to that, we've also partnered with some of our partners who are also offering trials of their products in conjunction with our product to see what more you can get out of your current tech stack during the trials, I suppose, during the trials and tribulations of COVID-19. So some of our key partners that we're working with at the moment on this package specifically are GuestJoy, who obviously offer this upselling and pre-stay Postday, Hotel Time Solutions, who are a PMS partner. Obviously, SiteMinder offered that connectivity to different channels. Aeroguest, who are obviously offering that digital check-in basis. QuickDesk, who offered the chatbot available on your website. Room Price Genie, who are a revenue management system for small independent hotels. And additionally, 123 Compare, who are a price comparison tool for your website also. And finally, also Oki, who are an upselling tool for your website. So that's the end of my presentation. I'd like to welcome any questions that might be available, or if there's any points that you'd like me to run through specifically that I might have mentioned during my presentation.
It's so